Hi, it's Jerusha, November 30th, 2016. Gosh, well, I feel kind of different than I did last time I recorded for you guys, even though it was just a day ago. I have noticed my hair looking like this, okay? And I've noticed it looking like this lots of times when I hadn't looked at it in the mirror in a long time. Like, oh no, it's like less than a day, of course, but my hair looking like this without me knowing it, just kind of sticking up like this because I've been playing with it or touching it or pulling it out of the ponytail like this. This is me. My hair has been like this before I had dreadlocks. My hair has been like this style since at least 1999. I had my hair looking like this. So whether it's dreadlocks or whether it's a perm or whether it's teased or whether it's just not washed, or my hairs look like this off and on. So I have this painting for you, which I've showed you before on a photograph of this painting, but here's real life, this photograph, or this painting that I did. This woman right here, the wild red-haired woman who's being captured by a man in a suit of civilization. All right, so what's the date on this? I don't have the date written. Maybe it's on the back. Let me see here. Pretty sure it's by 2000. It's no later than 2001. It's got to be 2000. Yep, the year 2000, 2001. So, I like this sepia color. These tones, the sepia tone, I did about like 4 or 5 different picture paintings, this sepia tone kind. So I have been watching some videos today that I've been very intrigued by. Not all of them are brand new, by the way. One was one from 2014 about her dreadlocks, Freeform dreadlocks. I think she was in Toronto. These are like 3 black women. I'll probably link to them below in the description, their videos. But I was really intrigued by it because these women have big hair. And they're talking somewhat, like all kind of combining it all into like a certain idea that I get from it, which is like they get a lot of attention for their hair. They've got a lot of hair. It's magnificent. Their hair is really, people give them a lot of attention for their hair, and they don't like it. They find it to be disruptive to their daily life. And I really can see that happening. I identify with that. These are black women. These are gorgeous black women, but they don't use a lot of makeup or anything. So you see me, I'm wearing makeup. I'm wearing makeup on my eyes. I'm wearing makeup on my lips. I'm wearing some foundation to cover up my age spots. Okay. These women don't even wear that much makeup. And I think they are younger than me, actually, but it doesn't matter. So, they are bothered by the attention they're getting for their hair. And the thing is, when you work really hard on something, like you've got really long hair, regardless of whether it's dreaded or not, if you've got a lot of hair as a woman, you get attention because it's like people are just in awe. I think awe is the right word. They're in awe of it. They're just like, this is very unusual. This is highly remarkable. And as a woman, as a female, I think you get a different kind of attention. I think that there's, especially from males, but even from females too, I just don't think that they necessarily always say it to you, but I can see this happening. So I love it how this one woman, I believe it's Nevlynnn, Nevlynnn, all about my freeform dreads. I'll link to it below. But she talks about how she never looks at her hair behind. Like, she never looks at the back of her head. Something about that really resonated with me. It was like, wow, you know, that's exactly, she's talking about her hair being a part of her, like an extension of her. And her hair is gorgeous and big and like thick dreads, like, you know, thicker dreads than mine, fewer of them. And she's just talking about it like it's just an extension of herself. And that's right. That's totally right. This is exactly how it is. So that's how it's going to be for me. I don't know how many months or years it's going to be for that. But it is. Like, I remember various times in my life being where it was like a burden to, and you know, guys hate this. Guys hate this. Guys like really are very venomous about this kind of, these kinds of ideas coming from a woman. But they're like, oh God, you're so burdened by being beautiful and getting attention for it. Seriously, it's true. Oh my God. It's true. Yeah. And I'm not even ashamed of it anymore. I'm barely ashamed. I'm almost ashamed, but I'm barely ashamed because it's bullshit. It's like, yeah, maybe you are gorgeous. You know, I know a very, very young woman. She's not even 18. She's like 14. And ever since I've ever set eyes on her, she's just like magnificent. She is like, wow. Like, if anyone gets to see your eyes, they're just going to be blown away. I mean, you can't treat her like she's not normal because she's gorgeous, beautiful, gorgeous, like beyond like you could ever see, like Snow White, except more gorgeous than Snow White. So just because a woman's beautiful and gorgeous and knocks you off your feet, she's still a human being. Okay. So I think that's what I was getting from these 3 videos that I'll link to you for you below in my descriptive section, is that, you know, if you have dreadlocks and you grow them long, and, you know, if you wear makeup or not, it doesn't really actually matter. People are going to be in awe of you, probably. And you're going to get attention, and that sucks. I'll tell you, I don't like attention. I don't. You would think, okay, YouTube video, you got a YouTube channel, yeah, you like attention. Well, no, I kind of like to like be lost in my own thoughts. I like to have my own thoughts. It's distracting to have to deal with people, because I'm not going to put them down because people have their own way of being, but I really like to just kind of walk around sometimes, not have to deal with, not be, yeah. So, it's a thing. But you know, some guys will probably remark, in fact, I haven't looked at the comments on these people, these young women's videos, because they may have some negative comments by men. They may have some comments about like, well, you bitch, you know, how dare you complain about whatever. Okay, so people don't understand. I'm not going to make it a gendered thing, but people don't understand that you really don't actually want all that attention, because you just want to be a person living your life, and you don't always feel like your life is on display, or you don't want it to be on display. You don't give a crap about it being on display. It's just your life. You want to be able to step outside your house in your pajamas, go get the newspaper, and not have it matter what brand of pajamas you're wearing or whatever. I mean, some people even go to the grocery store in their pajamas, and that's cool. That's totally fine. I think you should be comfortable. So when you've got a lot of hair, big hair, magnificent hair that it's clear that you have been working years with to deal with, like you've got it. You've got a ton of hair. In fact, there's this other person that isn't even in these 3 videos who, she has this YouTube video where she washes her hair in a bathtub. She does this like detox kind of thing, like maybe with some baking soda and vinegar and some like essential oils, and she just detoxes her hair in this bathtub, and she's like holding it like over to the side and it's so big and so long and so heavy. And I can't remember how many years she's had these dreadlocks, but she's a petite woman, you know, she doesn't have a large frame. And so her hair is like, oh, really? Like almost half the size of her. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I probably won't let my hair get that big or that heavy or that long, but gosh, what kind of attention is she getting? Yeah. And this isn't to the guys, by the way. I mean, I don't like to rule people out as viewers, but I really swear I don't think I know any guys. Not saying that there aren't any, but I don't know any guys that understand this about being female and being like slightly attractive in some way or another, and getting attention that you don't want and don't like, and it's really a bother. So I guess that I'm almost 41 years old, and I am watching these women's videos, and it's refreshing because I used to complain about being beautiful, getting too much attention, and oh, what a plight it is. I used to think about that more, but I don't think about it as much anymore. I guess because I'm not getting as much attention. I have a child. Often I'm showing up with the child, or somehow I'm not getting carded, like as if like maybe I've shown that I'm way older all of a sudden. So I don't look as young or whatever. Maybe it's just because I'm not single, and so they don't pick up on like me being available. But so yes, these women with these videos, I admire it because it makes me remember how sometimes I felt, and being shy and having social anxiety, and not wanting to have extra attention, but also not wanting to be rejected either. It's just like really confusing. It's just like, what? Am I attractive? But yet I don't know how to speak for myself. I don't know what to say. I'm really awkward. Yeah, it's true. So I would talk to guys that I was friends with, and they just like wouldn't get it. They wouldn't understand what I was trying to explain to them, like how it was awkward or difficult, or I didn't really know how to be, especially because if they were attracted to me, which sucks, by the way, being female, if you're attractive and you've got guys that you want to be friends with, you're not attracted to them at all physically, and they can't be friends with you because they're always trying to like figure out a way to be like dating you. So you can only be friends with females, which really, by the way, isn't all that great to feel like you're limited because of gender. Because why should people be limited by gender? I don't know. It seems like some people can be friends with guys. And I thought I could be friends with guys, and then I would get betrayed by them. And find out later it wasn't about friendship at all. So, well, what am I saying? Well, I'm saying that you probably don't understand. A lot of people don't understand, but I think a lot of females out there actually will. And I think a lot of females out there with the dreadlocks, I think you will. I think you will understand. And if you don't now, which you probably do from like times in your past when you were like magnificent in various ways. I think that I know a few of you, I've seen pictures of you when you were younger because you showed them on your videos and stuff, and like gorgeous, magnificent, even if you didn't have a lot of hair, lots of long hair. So, yes, I could see that you probably have experienced the feeling of being a little too magnificent for how much you felt your ego was. And, you know, I do like attention as well. You know, I said earlier that I don't, but I do because I mean, I like having this YouTube channel. I have ideas of like, wow, someday maybe I'll have like, I don't know, like maybe like more than 1,000 subscribers that actually watch. I don't know. Now I have 66 subscribers, by the way, which is very cool. Very, very cool, by the way. I am really excited about it. I look at that number and I'm like, wow, probably like maybe half of them have watched most of my videos. I don't know, maybe not even half. But it doesn't matter. So it's just a number, but it is a number, and it's important because, you know, those 66 people did not subscribe to me before I had YouTube videos. because I didn't have any YouTube videos to subscribe to. So, and like I've said before, I don't even know half of them. In fact, I probably even know less than a quarter of them, I think. And the people I know, they aren't watching all my videos, the ones I've talked to. So, it's fine. It's totally fine. I don't expect everybody to be into watching all of this stuff. But it's true. When you have dreadlocks, when you get a lot of hair or something that looks like you worked on it a long time and they're just, and even if it's not for like glamour that you've worked on it, you just like, it's just like just your life or your investment. I mean, this really, yeah, I know I talk about the way it looks a lot, but when I watched these 3 videos today, it really brought it back to me. Like, this isn't just about the way it looks to other people. This is like what it feels like. This is what it's like. Of course, I'm not going to say it's just a female thing, but I think that a lot of females do. They're just like, they like to put on makeup, not just because of the way it makes them look, but the process of doing it in the mirror or whatever it is that they're doing. Like, the process of doing it with themselves, that's like what they like. That's something about it that, it's not just about getting attention. You don't just do it to get attention. But there's nothing wrong with, if you do like getting attention, it's nothing wrong with that. But you're doing it kind of for yourself, and you hope that people might appreciate it, but you don't know whether or not, how you feel about how they appreciate it. So, how they show that they appreciate it. So, on here, I think part of my cohort, I feel sort of like she's sort of a distant sister, maybe a distant cousin or something. Midlife Dread. She's in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I've talked about her more than she's talked about me, but she has talked to me about various times, and I've really been excited to get to know her. She's part of my cohort here on YouTube, and I talk about her, you know, somewhat frequently, but she's gorgeous. She's a gorgeous woman. She's a gorgeous 49-year-old woman, and she's right now talking about like the possibility of like an autism spectrum diagnosis for herself, potentially looking at those traits and stuff. And it's funny because I never thought about that with her. I never thought of that at all, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually mean that's true or not true, actually. Because what I did think when she showed pictures of herself when she was younger and when she had like shorter hair, but I guess like around the time that she got dreads the first time, it's like, wow, holy crap. I mean, she's beautiful now, but she was gorgeous as well then. And just to see her, I think it was like in the late 80s, and it might have even been a black and white picture that I saw on her YouTube video, but yeah, I can see that. She'd be like it. She'd be looking like that for sure. So if you saw a picture of me in high school, my senior photos or my even 9th grade photos, you'd be like, wow, she's so hot. Yeah, I was pretty much an outcast. It doesn't matter how attractive I was an outcast. So you can't understand it until you go to school with me, and then you'd realize, yeah, I don't know what they would think of me. I don't know what they'd say. Probably, I really don't know. But I know that I was attractive on an objective level, but there's something about me that was off, a little bit, not just a little bit off, but some off. Yeah. So whether or not I have autism spectrum disorder, who the heck knows? I almost said the F word because I'm so pissed off about that word, autism spectrum disorder, okay? Because I know it's supposed to be something you're born with. I think it's sociological. I think that a lot of times it is. I don't think it is with everyone. But when we're going to expand it to a spectrum, and now autism spectrum disorder also encompasses Asperger's, which is no longer existing. So that's an old word, not any longer in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders. And like I told you before, I don't like that book. It's bullshit. It's a stupid book. So maybe this is how people feel about ADHD. How they're so sick of it being, quote, overdiagnosed. Well, I don't think it's overdiagnosed at all. I think it's underdiagnosed. But I'm working with adults here, so I'm not working with kids. And maybe it's true that maybe a lot of people are overdiagnosing it in kids. I don't really know. But Asperger's, autism spectrum disorder, I don't know. I guess it's because it's confusing to me. I have met lots of people, several people, who definitely do have autism spectrum disorder. For sure. For sure. I've met females as well as males, and it's definitely different in females. It looks different in females. But then I've met females that, kind of like this Asperger's thing where it's like brought up, suggested. I'm like, not really buying it. Not really buying it. It doesn't mean it's not true. It could be. It could be true. Okay. It's just like, I wouldn't want someone saying ADHD in women, adult women, doesn't really exist as much. Maybe I just don't understand. Maybe I understand too much. Maybe I understand them too much. Maybe. But yet I'm not sure. I mean, I've got a dad and I've got a brother, and I have thought that probably both of them, even though they both, I believe at least one of them, but probably both of them fit the diagnostic criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. Also, I think they both probably fit the criteria for autism spectrum disorder. So, which is which? You know, because you can be diagnosed as one and it's really the other, and vice versa. Sometimes you might have both, but you know, one's a personality disorder, okay? That is like somewhat, you know, there's a tendency in your temperament that you're born with, but temperament isn't necessarily like inherited. It's kind of like just random in some ways what you're born with. It's not like you get the temperament of your dad or your mom. It's like something almost random. So you're an individual person. I said that in a previous video recently. So for a person to have narcissistic personality disorder and autism spectrum disorder, it's sort of, I'm not saying it's impossible. There are a lot of overlaps for sure, but they come from different ways. Like narcissistic personality disorder is an environmental thing from like nurture. When you say nature or nurture, it's nurture. And then autism spectrum disorder is more of a nature thing. Like you're almost like more born with it. Now, yes, if your mother is older when she has you, you're more likely to have it. So that's kind of an environmental thing, but more like when you're still in the womb or before you're even in the womb, like the egg, more likely to be autistic spectrum disorder. So it's still what we call nature, okay? But when we say nurture, we talk about like after you're born, your influences that people have had on you, like when you've been after you're born, basically. So is it nature or nurture? I mean, I really think the autism spectrum, we really have a lot to know about, a lot to learn about, especially because of the spectrum. So people that used to not be diagnosed, they used to just, I mean, they used to have like marriages and families and stuff like that. And they weren't different enough to like, to really like stand out a whole lot. So people would just accept that that's how you were. So now we've got more of a spectrum, got more awareness of it. Also, the stakes are higher for being a functional adult in the society for a lot of people. And then there's females. And there were a lot of females that probably had it before, but it didn't stand out, you know? Like if you knew her, or if you knew her as like her daughter or her granddaughter even, you might have said, oh yeah, that might fit her, that my grandma or something. Not my grandma, but like some people, you know, but it wasn't like very, I don't know. It's not the kind of thing that people would like necessarily, it would be so obvious. They would have a family, they would have gotten married, they probably would be doing their thing, they would just be like plugging along. Females. I mean, that is a difference about females, even with ADHD, where like the females with ADHD seem very different from the males with ADHD. There are a lot of biological things that are there, and then acculturation, which starts really young, as far as females, and then the hormones that you have going through your body and how it affects the development of your personality and then the culture as well. It's really fascinating to me how much is like really unconscious and not all that much like just about American culture, but really about a lot of cultures being female. how that really affects your psychology. Because I am very interested in like females and males being very different, but having equal rights and equal like respect. And it would be a lot easier if we could treat them like they were the same, but they're not. They're very different from each other. So that's what I think makes it more complicated, is that they are extremely different from each other in a lot of ways. Individuals are different from one another, and yet they deserve to have the same amount of respect. Yeah, just different ways. So up here, it seems like it should be easier than it really is in practice. So yeah, autism spectrum disorder. Midlife dread has me thinking about it. She's got me thinking about it. She's got me thinking about it because she identifies with it. I identify with it, even though I don't think it's true about me. I don't think I have it. I'm not going to say I have it, okay? I have ADHD for sure, and it overlaps. And if I have autism spectrum disorder, well, deal with it. I'm pretty sure my dad has autism spectrum disorder. I'm pretty sure my brother might. Definitely might. He definitely has a tendency to it more. Not as much as my dad. Not as predisposed to it as my dad from birth. But they both have that similarity. And they both are narcissistic. Most likely narcissistic personality disorder. For sure. And I love them. I love them both. I love them both because they're my relatives. And I've known them since I was little. And if I wasn't related to them, I probably wouldn't love them as much. But yeah, that's the thing about it's blood is thicker than water. I think it might be true. I know it's an adage. It's kind of a thing that I don't like, but I think it is true anyway. So probably wouldn't give these people the time of day, especially my dad, if I weren't related to him, but I am related to him. Thank goodness. I have somebody who's very, very narcissistic, very, very toxic person, and I have the opportunity of knowing him for the rest of his life, and probably the rest of my life too, even if he doesn't live that long. Yeah, I love him. I love him a lot. That's the cool thing about being in a family, is that you love them, kind of. I guess you could choose not to love them, but I personally love them no matter what. I love people that I'm related to no matter what, even if I don't necessarily want to deal with them on a regular daily basis or even a monthly basis, but I still really do love them. And there's a certain amount of respect that I have for them, even if I have to kind of treat them with a little bit of distance. I still love them. So that's what I have to say, you guys. Maybe this is a vlog. I haven't really looked up the definition of VLOG, but it's possible this is a vlog. I don't know. Maybe I'm like going into the vlogosphere. Maybe I've been doing it for 2 months now. I don't know. Maybe my friend Midlife Dread will tell me. All right. Take care, you guys. Have a good evening. And as we enter the holiday season, please take care of yourself and be aware of yourself and your limitations, and feel free to cut yourself off from people that you really need a break from. Goodness gracious, don't we all need a break sometimes, especially during the holiday season?